Okay, welcome to another art class. Today we are switching it up back to oil pastels. So please have your pastels ready. These are, some of you may have the Crayola ones. They're about the same. So we'll have 12 colors. Let me organize them a little bit. So black, white, brown, and tan. So just that peachy color. Yellow, orange, red, pink, purple, blue, and the two greens. So these are all the colors that you'll need for today. And you're also going to get a pencil for sketching, paper towel. This is for cleaning your pastels. And of course you need your paper. And you may notice that the paper is really big today because we are going to do something from imagination instead of from a photo reference. So I'll go a little bit slower today so we can all follow along. This is optional, but if you want, you could also have just some testing paper. This is just extra paper. So later when you need to test the colors and you don't want to do it on your final piece, then you can get another sheet of paper as well.
Jane,
Yes.
because there are some new students here, I just want to tell them.今日有幾位係新嘅，今日咧係油畫。如果你冇嘅咧，你需要呢一個啊，今日嘅你用呢一個油畫噶。如果冇嘅，你同我講下。我呢度有油畫，唔係啊，油筆啊，粉彩啊，呢啲啊，粉彩啊，呢叫粉彩啊 ？OK， 係咪粉彩啊？係啊，粉彩。呢啲嚇，秀英，你嗰個係咩嚟㗎？咪一筆筆嗰啲粉彩啦，嗰啲你俾我哋嘅咧。OK 啦，一支支嗰啲。係咯，邊一個冇嘅同我講先。Okay, you can take it away.
Okay, so yes, these are the oil pastels. We have a 12 set, I believe. But otherwise, you also need a pencil. So that is the other part. Once again, we will be sketching from scratch. So let's get our pencils ready and let's begin. So I'm envisioning a road, a path in the forest, and there will be trees on the side. The first thing, yes.
Do you have picture?
No picture today.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We'll see how that goes. So we'll do a rough sketch first. And then when everything's sketched in, we'll block in the colors. All right. So let's start. I want to place my horizon around the middle lower here. So lower third, just very lightly. I'm not going to draw all the way, just a line somewhere. And this is the path that I want. So as you know, the path gets wider when you get closer. And it's kind of an S shape. So on this side, it's like that. On this side, it's like that. And keep in mind to have these little curves in the road. To keep your sketch pretty light, I'm going a little bit darker. And if you do go darker, it is okay because the pastels are very thick. They will usually cover your sketch. The next thing to sketch in will be the trees that are on either side of the road. So I want some kind of round shapes for the trees here. Another thing is if you have charcoal pencils, that is a good sketching tool for this. Because when you hold it sideways, you get these different line widths. So the trees get bigger as they get closer. We can also have one just in the corner over here. And a couple more in the background. When you're sketching trees, think of each tree as a separate, we're not separate, all of them are together as one big unit. So notice how I'm leaving these top areas empty. Because the leaves are mixing together, so there's no point in me drawing all of the leaves. Just the big shapes, the main shapes. So all of these trees, one big shape. Then now let's start on the trees on this side as well. There's going to be a little bit more. And these are closer. These are further away. So over here, I'm going to make them a little bit smaller and lower as well. So just some weird trees. I like to keep a little bit of space open so we can have the sky and the background peeking through. Some of the trees can be closer to the edge. Some of them can be further in. And it's also good to consider the very, very outside. And I mostly leave this area empty. But you can also maybe add some of the tops of the leaves. Everything in here is just going to be a mess. So just keep adding wherever you think there needs to be a tree. And then in the background here, I also want to add some mountains. Just the hint of some mountains in the back. And maybe there is a little bit of a green patch in the middle, because sometimes in the country there's these dirt tracks and it's been driven through by a truck, but the middle part is left untouched. So you can add kind of like a strip of grass going down the middle.
Teacher got a question on the very bottom of the tree. There is, looks like somebody standing there. Is that a little girl?
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, that's just I was fixing the tree. It was supposed to be down here. This is the bottom of the tree. But then I made it too high, so I drew these extra lines. But if you think it is a girl or a figure, you can definitely put it in there. But it's just a tree. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes I have weird marks. If you're needing me to explain what they are, please ask. Like this one, I wanted the grass to stick out a bit more. So I just drew this extra part, but it looks like a puddle. But yes, this is the grass. And I guess the inspiration might be Nose Hill. There are some very nice nature walks in the middle of Nose Hill Park in the Northwest. Okay, so once you are mostly finished your sketch, it doesn't have to be very detailed. Remember, we are only doing the main shapes to help settle down the composition. Now let's start talking about colors. So what colors will we use for this landscape? I am thinking probably green for the trees, but a little bit of yellow peeking out. So I want the sunlight to be coming through from this area. And then there's light landing on the floor here. So mostly greens, and I'm also seeing a little bit of blues and yellows. So let's begin blocking in the colors. I'm going to start off with a green base. So this is just lime green. And at this point, so think wherever there is green. For me, I can see it in the ground, so the grass, maybe in the treetops, maybe in along the edge over here. I will just go in and start blocking in. And by blocking in, I just mean filling in the colors without much thought, because we will go back and add colors to this. So just keep filling in the areas. It's okay to have these holes. If you can see, there's little holes, white pores in there. Leave it. We will come back and add other colors. So for now, just start filling in. I mean, I'm filling where the grass is. So blocking in just means filling in the base local colors. And by local, I mean it's what the color of the object is originally. So grass is usually like a lime or yellow color. But in the shadows over here, we're going to later add some blues and purples to darken this green. But naturally it is green. So that's why we're blocking in the original color. There's some in between the trees, maybe. Just very roughly kind of shade in these colors. Not even going in between the lines. And then up at the top too. If your pastel is small, like mine, you can just put it flat, hold it on its side, and scrub. It's called a side stroke. Makes things a little bit faster. See, I'm just going basically in one direction and just filling in the colors as quickly as possible. It's kind of like I'm setting the blueprint. So obviously right now the colors don't look very accurate or very atmospheric. And then now I'm going to block in the background. So the sky over here, as well as the mountains. I think the sky is kind of a very light shade of aqua. So blue and green. So if you're doing the sky, this is how I do it. So I take some green and very lightly just add some green in the sky. So you can't really see it well on camera, but I've added some green in the sky. So this. So it was just light green, very gently kind of brush on some of that green. And then with my blue, since I don't have it very small, I will also add a little bit of blue. So I'm just holding it very, very loosely and then kind of letting it glide over the surface because I'm not trying to color it all in. I'm adding some of this color. So that was just blue and green. for the sky. Now what you're going to do with that is you're going to take a white and start blending it. So this, now you're pressing hard. And you can also go in the opposite direction of the streaks. I like to go in a circular motion. So it's like a circle. I'm scrubbing in a circle. And sometimes there will be accidental color. So maybe you have a little bit of red by accident or some other color. That's okay. You need those little colors. So right now it looks a little bit odd. That's because the sky looks darker than our trees. The trees are not done yet. The sky is basically done. I also want to add a little bit of yellow because the vision was it's sunny. So sometimes the sky, we can make it literally look yellow. So take some yellow and I want to add a little bit of yellow down in the bottom half of the sky. So just here, have some yellow. Just very, very lightly. So it makes it feel like an aged photograph. And then blend it again with the white. So that was the sky. Start off with some light green, blue, some yellow, and blend it all using white. You can now, if you want, clean your pastels. I quite like this color. So anyways, I will also start blocking in the colors for the mountains in the back here. For that, I'm thinking do kind of a purple gray color. So purple and yellow and a little bit of blue. So you will now need these colors: yellow, purple, blue, white for the mountains.
If we do not have purple, what do we use?
Oh, no purple?
Yes, no purple.
Okay, then do you have, what other colors do you have?
I have orange, dark red, pink,
Mm-hmm.
gray, black, brown.
Do you have
So,
blue?
Yeah, blue and red, right? Try blue and red.
Blue and red, yes. That makes a very dark purple. You can try it.
Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can, if you want, you can also use pink because the color I'm making.
Our pink is really light pink.
Oh, very light pink.
Light pink, yeah. Okay, we'll try.
We can try. So let's do blue. If you have purple, then use purple. If you don't, blue and red, we can try, and then have some yellow and pink and white. So it's a big mix of colors because mountains, it's really gray, but we want to exaggerate the colors. We want to bring the colors out. If you have gray, then you can also use that as a base. Okay, I'm going to take some blue, and this is my base color. So same thing what we did for the sky, do the mountains in a very light shade of your base colors. So if you're doing gray, do gray. I'm using blue right now. You want to be so light that there's a lot of holes in the middle. Okay, now take some white and blend it all out just like we did for the sky. So this is, we're setting the base colors. Then try some red if you don't have purple. This is for the shadows. So the light is coming in maybe from the top, from the right. So we could have some of these jagged shadows going into the mountain. And then on the other side. So once again, very, very lightly. So this is just kind of like a Z diagonal shape. And then blend it out using white again. So every time you add any new colors here, blend it out. Unless you want to keep the texture. It's kind of purple, but it's leaning on the red side. And if this happens, you can just always go back and add more blue. actually, I'm going to switch out the yellow for the peach. So if you don't have a peach, white and orange makes a pretty good peach. So, but if you do have sort of like a peach color or a very light pink, use that to create the highlights. Just to make the brighter parts feel warmer, because right now they're a little too blue. So it makes the photo feel or the image feel very cold. And that's a little bit better. And if you have orange and white, what you're going to do is just put the orange on first and then lay the white over. Okay, now we're going to do something kind of different. So let's switch back to the trees. The background, everything, the distance is mostly done. Now we need to kind of work on these areas because they are unfinished. So for the trunks of the trees, we're actually not going to use brown. Find your darkest blue, or maybe if you want to use an indigo, any blue will work. And then some black. And then let's go from here and we can add other colors. The reason why I'm using blue for the trunks is because if you've ever taken a walk and you've looked at the tree trunks, it's in the shadows. It looks very cold. So that's why I use blue as the base color. So for the trunks, start lightly sketching in. And the light is coming in from the top. So the light is kind of coming in through the leaves, but also some of it is hitting directly from above. So anyways, this will all make sense when we start establishing the other values. So right now it's going to look a little crazy, but just trust the process. Or we could just have blue trees. So I'm not pressing too hard, just shading. We can leave some of it blank to leave room for the leaves. And notice how I'm not filling all of it the whole way. I'm leaving a little bit of white empty space where the highlights are going to be. And then do the same thing on the right side. So very roughly block in these colors. You can also put a little bit of blue in the trees because there are shadows in the leaves as well. But just a little bit. We'll come back later with the blues. Okay, now if your trees are mostly blocked in, you can take a black or any dark color. If you have a dark brown, that might be a better option. But we're just going to go in with the black today. I usually avoid using black, but I think this would be okay. So take your black and now start kind of going into the shadows. So under wherever the tree is kind of going under itself, add some of these shadows. And then later, we're going to blend it out. Okay, now that the shadows are out of the way, let's get into blending it. So I'm going to take the blue first and blend not all of the trunk, not every single part of it from top to bottom, but just in the darkest areas. So wherever the blacks are, I'm going to start filling out these little holes, these pores with the blue. So just like how I did the white blending, you can do circular or you can do up and down, doesn't really matter. So just the black parts. I'm not filling in the blue anymore. I'm just blending the black with the blue. So you're kind of creating a dark blue in the trunks. And then once you have blended out the black with the blue, there are still these little holes and pores on the side that we left intentionally for the highlights. So the bright areas. I'm going to take a peach color. If you would like to experiment, you can also try other colors, other warm colors like yellow, light pink, maybe even orange. But I'm going to take this peach color, and just like how we blended out the black with the blue, start blending out the blue with the lighter color. Be careful not to have the brightest color overtake the shadows, because then we end up with a flat looking tree. So I'm putting this light peach color wherever the light seems to be coming from. So from the top, so that was the trunk, the tree trunks. We only really used 2 colors, so or 3, black, blue, and peach, or something else that you might have chosen. Once you're done with that, the next step is to start darkening the leaves and the grass. So right now the trunks are established. We need to make everything else darker, which means we're going to use a lot of different colors for the next step. You will be needing dark green, blue again, and I'm going to use purple. If you don't have purple, combine blue with red, and then also some black. So these will be for the trees and the grass. You might also need to have your yellow ready for the highlights and the yellow leaves, but that's for a later step. What we're going to do first is I'm actually going to take a red and we're going to outline where the shadows and where the highlights meet. So I'm thinking the light is coming in. These leaves along the edge will be very, very yellow and bright, but everything else is mostly dark. So with the red, the reason why I'm using red is it's a pretty good contrasting color and you can see it. So this, I'm showing where the shadows will be. So everything on this side will be dark. I'm leaving this so it can be more of a yellow green. And maybe I'll also have some highlights over here. So this part's a little bit of a confusing part, but basically labeling the shadows and where I think I want them to be. So everything in this middle part and also in these little areas will be like a yellowish color. Everywhere else, let's make very, very dark or dark, cool green. So now let's pull out the dark green and just start going into these places. And another note is if you want to use orange or brown or any other colors, please use them because we want to have a lot of interesting colors, not just green. So this is a base color. Try adding some other colors as well, like these. So now I'm going to go in and start making things darker. And this is too green, but I'm going to come back and add some extra colors. So I'm not fully blending it, but I'm definitely pressing a little bit harder. So if you squint your eyes, you can kind of see the values coming into their final positions. Same with this side. Leave the outside edge. Just shade the insides. Oops. You'll also probably need to make the grass darker too, so let's do that. I'm going to leave some of this in here because I like the effect of light peeking through and going into the grass as well. Have some light areas here and there. Okay, so now this is the fun part. We're going to add a lot of different colors in the leaves. So let's start with the trees and make it less green. You want to go for an olive color. So once all your greens are darkened, take maybe an orange or brown. We use orange and brown because they both have a little bit of red in them. So orange has a little bit of red, brown has a bit of red. And when you combine green with red, they're complementary colors. So you get more of a muted color. So just go in and kind of add them almost everywhere. And you'll see in a second when we blend it out, it'll make sense. Especially along the edges here. And if you don't like doing one step at a time, you can also switch between orange and blue. So orange is for just making the green less green. Blue is for the shadows in the leaves as well. So just like how we did the trunks, you can add a little bit of blue here, or maybe over here in the edge. Just in the darkest areas. So that means wherever the trees are the densest. And add some of these blue cool tones. Because the green alone is very jarring. So please try other colors as well. If you have purple, let's see what purple might look like. Still kind of dark, but it's a warmer blue. You can try purple, or you can just stick with blue. So I'm just switching between blue, purple, or orange. Orange is just going to be filling in the greens. So now there's going to be a lot of blending, but just keep going, and then eventually the holes will kind of fill themselves. So back to blue. I really want this little corner here to be dark and cold. So we draw the attention back to the middle. So I'm going to add a lot of blue on the outsides. Gonna take the light green and blend out some of these orange marks over here. I'm going to start filling in the greens over here. So I'm just using lime green or the light green. Kind of leave some random spaces in between. And on the very edge, yellow. So over here, mostly blues and purples. In the middle is orange. And on the edge, we have yellow. And the way you scrub the colors in is also very important. If you like to kind of dab at it, then you get more texture. But if you go in a circle, you get more circular patterns. Now I'm going to move over to this side. Starting with the light parts this time. Yellow is always a good color to put down first because it's so light. If you need to make it darker, just go right on top of it. So once again, the same colors on this side, blue, green, orange. This is just orange. And then back to the blue for the shadows. And then you can blend it out using the lime green. Just fill out these little holes and pores. Going to add a little bit more orange on this side. It's a little too blue, I feel. So don't forget to add a little bit of these colors in the grass as well. Then blend using lime green. As it gets colder out there, I like to use more white to blend things out rather than lime green. Just in the very, very back over here. For the ground, I'm thinking kind of like a gravel road. So maybe you could have, if you have grays, do the base in gray. If you don't have gray, do a light layer of pink. Ooh, interesting choice, but we'll see how it turns out. So I'm just going to kind of lightly dust the ground with some pink. The reason is because the sunlight sometimes makes the gray rocks look almost like a lavender color. So I think that's usually very nice. And it's a combination of colors. So right now it's very pink, but we're gonna go in with some yellow, no, lime green, blue, and white. So yeah, the ground, pick any like light base color. I just use pink. Going to add some shadows of the trees coming from this side. So kind of like that with blue. So just lightly shading in some of these blue shadows, leaving some areas. And then the greens, this light green can blend out just the edges to make it feel like the grass and the gravel are coming together. Just a little bit on the edge, not kind of like that. And then with my white, or if you want, you can also do peach, blend the road out. So I'm using white for now. And I'm going from left to right to simulate the shadows, the direction of the shadows. So really quickly, and something like that. And you can also, this is just an optional step, take a little bit of orange. And green. So orange and green are kind of like best friends in this artwork. They go really well together. Otherwise, I believe we are at the end. So, oh, just kidding. Just kidding. There's also, I forgot this part. Just a little bit of orange here. Yeah, otherwise, we are done today's class. Thank you for coming.
Let me
How
take
did
the picture.
everyone
Let
do?
me take the picture first.
Okay, okay.